Hey everyone, welcome to Quarter Mile Farm. I'm doing an update on what's been happening during July on the farm, since I haven't really done much else since my series in June. I did the update the other day for part of the farm, and now I'm going to do the other part of the farm over here. So let's get started on that. But before we do, I was looking over here in the chicken run garden and I'm excited to see something, so let's go take a look at that. So I was over here in my cucumber patch, just kind of checking on things, even though I was just out here yesterday. And I was looking around, and now let's see if I can find it again. Look at my very first pickle of the year! Yay! Now I have to see if there's any others around. Gotta have more than one pickle for the jar. Well, I've only found one other one, and it's big enough, but not quite big enough. If I had a bunch of others to pickle right now, I'd probably grab that to fill in the small spaces in the jar. But I think right now I'll just take this one in and stick it in the baggie in the fridge. It'll last a few days until we get more to pickle. All right, first I'm going to show you this little area right behind the greenhouse. Since we decided we can't really move this where I wanted to move it, it's just going to stay here. And so we decided to go ahead, I decided to go ahead and plant some things here. So I'm going to show you what I planted here, and then we'll move on to the other section over there. All right, so firstly, along this fence here, I planted some of the black vernissage tomatoes that were volunteers in the garden over here, left from tomatoes from last year that I had there. This is my husband's favorite tomato. You can see it's got fruit set on there already. So I've got, I think, 4 plants here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I thought I had 5, but maybe it was only 4. I think this right here is not planted by me. It's a bean that is a volunteer from the beans that I had growing on the fence last year. I think they're, oh no, here's the 5th tomato plant. It was one. There was one there. It's being overwhelmed by the squash. Look at that. What was it? The pinquinto beans is what I had here. So over here, right as a centerpiece, I decided to plant my fig tree. And this has been in a pot since last fall, and I've been trying to figure out, or no, I just bought it this spring actually. It's a different tree I've had in a pot. I just bought this one this year. I have another fig tree, but it's not produced for me yet. I'm hoping it will this year, but I've heard that the brown turkey fig is actually one that will produce in our area. So we're gonna give that a try. And anyway, I decided that right here by the greenhouse, this was a nice little corner for the fig tree. Over here, I planted some beans, and I'm trying to remember what kind. I planted along the edge over here another bean that's the 1500-year-old caveman bean that I got from Mary's heirloom seeds. So we're giving those a try. And the dogs keep walking through here and smushing plants. But what I planted here was a different type of bean, and I don't remember what kind. Maybe a yellow wax bean. You can see here, this one has the seed casing still on it. It was a long black bean that I planted, but it was not a black bean. It's like a yellow bean, or I don't know. Can't remember. Hey, look, piece of glass. All right, so right here we have a yellow, not yellow, I was gonna say yellow pear tomato. It's not even a tomato. What is it? It's a banana pepper, sweet banana pepper. And then right here is an eggplant, and both of these are ones that I started from seed. Let's see what else. I did try planting some onions over here, but I'm not sure they're gonna come up. I let them get dried out. Well, that might be one right there. I let them get dried out in their pot and just didn't get them planted in time, and I was hoping they would still come up for me, but they're not. So anyway, that's it for this corner, but I thought this little corner just made a nice little garden. So we'll just plant something a little small there each year. But I really like the fig tree there. I think it'll be a nice addition. It will provide some shade for the greenhouse eventually, but for the most part that greenhouse gets a lot of sun anyway, so I'm not that concerned about it. Whew. It's 10 o'clock and it's 91 degrees already. We're supposed to get up to 109 today and be 109 tomorrow and Sunday as well. So hot days, hot days. Okay, now it's time for the big reveal. Those of you who have been watching for a while have seen this garden under lots and lots and lots of weeds. So let me pan you over there and we'll take a look at what it looks like now. Here we go. Check it out. So yeah, there's still some weeds. I'm not gonna deny that, but we have been working so hard to clean this area up, and it actually looks like a real garden now. I'm so excited. So I'll take you out and show you section by section what all is in each area. You guys saw me planting some, but even when I was planting those areas, there was still, like this area was still weedy. So you'll get to see all the growth that's been happening and just enjoy the new, hopefully staying this way garden. Okay, so I'm now on the other side of the garden, and this is some of the area that I planted first, because this is the area that we got rototilled and weeded out first. So let me just take you through here and show you what all is growing. So back here is some of the first stuff I planted over here, and that is the red corn. And as you can see, not very much came up. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 stalks came up. And I was thinking, oh, they're all green. Why aren't they red? Because I planted double red sweet corn, but I'm seeing here the stalk is turning red. So I guess maybe they start out red and or start out green and then turn red. But this area got kind of overgrown with weeds, so the boys have just been cleaning this out some. Still lots more to do. Over here, this is the black caps, and we got some berries off of that this year, but it's just been overgrown, so that's, sorry, I'm pulling weeds as I'm talking to you. So yeah, we need to completely cut down the old vines and then train up the new vines for this year for that. But hey, look, a dying poppy, the last of the poppies. There's still a few more here, little happy spots of red. Anyway, so yeah, the double red sweet corn was a total bust. We will get at least some stalks. I don't even know if they'll produce for me. Over here are the Jacob's cattle beans, and again, there's some holes in there, but we did get quite a few plants that came up, and they are starting to produce. So you can see it's a flat bean. This is something we'll use as a dried bean, so I'm not going to pick these until they're dry, and then we'll shell them out. I grew these for my mother-in-law because she doesn't really have a good garden space, and we have lots of room, so yeah, we'll have at least some for her. This right here is a row of weeds. Yeah, that needs to be weeded out. But right here are the potatoes that I planted. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Not all of them came up in this row. You can see there's a few empty spaces, like right in here. But we are getting a pretty good crop otherwise. And I've only seen just a few potato bugs. So they are not getting decimated this year like some of our potato plants last year did. Alright, so in this area right here, I had to come through and weed this, and I had to be very careful because I have onions two rows of onions here and then two there, and then I couldn't tell where the rows were going, and I think I may have pulled some onions out because I was thinking the row went one way and it was going another way. So anyway, we still have some onions here, but it's not as many as I originally planted. I did come through with some of those other onions that I talked about over by the greenhouse. You can see there's one right there. It's been pulled up. So I'm hoping that I can get some more growing just from those, because I did have some, like, I don't know if this one was, but I did still have some with green tops on them. So I'm hopeful, like that one right there is probably one of them. So hoping at least some of them will survive. I just couldn't keep on top of the weeds. Plus I was weeding that area over there for the good portion of the time. But these are some of the first tomatoes I planted outside. And you can see we have cages around them that my son Cedric spent some time making out of fencing. And I'm quite tickled with them. He did a good job making them. And our tomatoes have just grown so much. They're not producing yet. These two right here are the black vernissage. I planted these afterwards. But these ones over here have been in the ground for a while. I believe these ones are they the mortgage lifters? No, these are the other ones, the paste ones. And I can't remember which paste ones I planted this year. So pretty sure these are the paste tomatoes. Anyway, I was saying they aren't producing yet. They don't really they like hot, warm weather, but they don't like to produce in hot weather. And of course, you know, 109-degree weather, 100-degree weather all week, they aren't going to be producing for a while. But that's typical for our area. A lot of times I find myself harvesting tomatoes come late August into September and even all the way into August. So not too surprised that we don't have very many tomatoes right now. All right, so this section here is the peanuts. I am so excited to find out that peanuts actually grow here. And this area was completely covered with weeds, and I had to kind of dig dig around and find the peanut plants so I wouldn't pull them up. And it took me a long time, days upon days, to weed through this area, because I could, do an hour of weeding at a time and, just end up having done a small section of it. But you can see they are starting to bloom. Let me see if I can get this without covering it. Isn't that pretty? Nice little yellow blooms there. And I've read that when they start to bloom, that's when you want to kind of mound up some dirt around the base of them, and then they send out little growth nodules that the peanuts will grow from. So I will be working on that probably this next week. I don't want to do it today or over the weekend because, 109-degree weather. Over here is an acorn squash that I planted. It's probably 2 or 3 plants that you can see. Lots of cute little acorns, acorn squash. But I've also found lots of squash bugs on here, and bugs, or the eggs. Here's some right here. So yesterday I spent some time just scraping and squishing the eggs, squishing the bugs. And I see one right over there, and it seems to be laying eggs. Let's go stop that mid-process here. Sorry, no more eggs. Look at that. Okay. So yes, the squash bugs have seemed to come on stronger now. I'm learning to be more diligent in watching for them now. I felt lulled into complacency, or I don't know how you want to say that, lulled into a false sense of safety from them, since I wasn't seeing so many of them before on my other plants. But they're definitely starting to hit. So I'll have to come out every day, twice a day sometimes maybe, and just keep an eye out for those little critters. But look how many squash there are. Just 1, 2, 3 right here. 4, 5. So I just need to keep the or the squash off of the bugs, those squash bugs off of here to be able to produce them to full term. There's more there. Oh, look at that. There's one that's almost full grown. Sweet. Very cool. I didn't realize that big one was down there. This right here is an artichoke. I had 2 plants here, but one of them died over the winter, I think due to the cold. The previous winter I had them wrapped up, so they may have survived for that, but this one actually came back up from the roots. So I'm glad for that. I don't know if it will produce this year or not. We might have to wait till next year for more artichokes. Just doing one last check down here. I saw something moldy. Yeah, it's just an acorn squash that didn't fully form. So anyway, that's exciting. Over here we have marionberries. Lots of red ones still to ripen. Raspberries are pretty much done. We need to cut back the old vines now and train up the new ones. Get them out of the walkway here. Getting them nice and trained up for next year so that when it's time to harvest, we don't have a jungle of vines over here. All right, back behind me here are more tomatoes. I think these ones are the mortgage lifters. And a few of the black vernissage here as well. And again, more cages that my son made. He probably made me about 40 cages. We have about 50 some plants, I think. All right, before we go further, check out this sea of pumpkin plants. They're so huge, and there's already pumpkins forming. Now we have lost some of the plants, and we think it's due to possibly a bacteria in the soil, but it's not affecting all of the plants, so it could also be the seed that I got was not the best seed in the world, because it seems to be mostly the same variety of squash that are dying. And here, I'll show you here, they're just turning yellow. And I had thought maybe it was due to squash bugs, but I mean, just these one types are being affected, and they're all going the same way of being yellow leaves and wilty. You can see more right here, and they're all just from the same hills. So I'm thinking that they're perhaps just that variety. And I need to check my graph that I made from when I planted them to see exactly what type of squash it is. But it's really sad to lose those. But we have a lot of other squash, so I'll show you some footage here of some of the pumpkins that are forming, and also the marigold plants that I planted. They aren't blooming. I've seen 2, but well, here we go. Here's a bud. So they will start blooming soon, but look how huge that marigold bush is. And you can see there's some right here. Now, if you don't know why I planted these here, I've heard that they're a deterrent because of their scent. They are a deterrent for the squash bugs to not be able to smell the squash blooms and such. So I'm hoping that works. I haven't done a check of the leaves. Oh, I say that, and look right here. Look right there. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'll come through with a spray, and then some diatomaceous earth will hopefully help. So don't want these to die before they can produce lots of pumpkins and squash for us. Okay, on to another part of the garden, and I'll show you some of the pumpkins and stuff at the end of the video. So here's a little bit of an overview of this whole area. Once Brent and the boys got this area weeded out, you can see they just brought in some straw and just covered the area to help keep the weeds down so we don't have to weed so often. You might see some green popping up there in the aisles. And that is wheat from kernels of wheat stuck in the straw bales that we got. There's some more green stuff right there. That's all just wheat. So as it gets taller, we'll probably pull it out, but I might also look into, I don't think I want to leave it because it's surrounding some of the tomato bushes and it'll make the tomatoes hard to harvest if we have all the wheat there. So once it gets bigger, it'll be easier to just come through and pull it out and get it out of the way. So here is the boys' garden that they made with the Dollar Tree kit plants that we got, and you can see there's just some awesome growth there. So I'll take you through there and show you all the different plants. So this of course is Henry's sunflowers. They're getting ready to bloom. They are so big now. This is his basil. We need to come through and maybe harvest some of that. Maybe I'll do that next week, because next week we start in August. We do the Every Bit Counts challenge. I like to do that. And most of the time I post on Instagram. I try to do it daily. Sometimes I miss a day or two, but I did make a couple videos last year, and I think I'd like to do that this year. I just need to remember to do it. So we'll maybe start with harvesting some basil for the Every Bit Counts challenge. Here's one of Gideon's tomatoes, and you can see it's a cherry tomato. We didn't know what kind of tomato it was, but it looks like it's a cherry tomato. And he had 4 plants in his little pot, but we only have 3 here. The 4th one was in that corner over there, and it was quite smaller than the rest. And I think somebody came along and pulled it out thinking it was a weed. But this right here, this is actually another volunteer plant, squash. This is not one of the boys' Dollar Tree plants. It was actually volunteering like somewhere around here along the pipe. I can't remember exactly where, but we dug it up. Brent dug it up, and we moved it into here so that they can have another thing in their garden. So don't know what kind of squash it is. So that's a nice little mystery that we have. And I can see they pulled up, they weeded in here and they pulled up Gideon's daisies. Brent already came through and pulled them out, and I dug them right back in the ground because I happened to be here. But they weeded this morning and they pulled them right back out. So frustrating. Can't even find the remnants of the plant. Probably got put in a bucket somewhere. And then this right here is a potato plant that Brent pulled up. He was weeding over there in the potatoes, and he ended up pulling it up, and he just asked Gideon if he wanted to plant it in here, and it's actually growing back. So maybe we'll get some little potatoes in here for the little boys' garden. So anyway, that's their little garden. Starting to open up there. So that's a fun little thing. You know, we put these wood barriers around it to just define it, and I went with that. I wanted to do it for the rest of the garden anyway, so I made some more of them. I need to get some more logs. I do have some more over there by the cut wood that I have in a pile behind the shop. So anyway, I used what wood pieces I have to just kind of form garden spaces, because I am sick and tired of people walking through here and not paying attention to where plants are planted. And so anyway, I got these 4 sections, and then I'll have to do some more in here and then over there. But in this one over here, I planted some, I think they're contender green beans. So I mentioned the other day in my video when I was doing those beans that I would have a lot. That's because I planted a lot more in here. And then in here, I was at a store that had some plants on sale, so I just grabbed some hot peppers. I have mostly non-hot peppers otherwise, so I just grabbed some more pepper plants for Brent. We have jalapeno here in the center, and then we have some dirt covered. We have cayenne. We have, what's this one? Anaheim. I think I had 2 Anaheim peppers. What's this one? Better Bell, so that's a California Wonder. And I think this one might be as well. You can see a pepper there. Looks like a bell pepper. It's a red bell pepper. And then we have a couple hop ones. Yeah, habanero, a couple habanero here. Oh, look at there. There's another little jalapeno plant or pepper. Very cool. All right, and then here Brent was asking me if we would be able to grow watermelon, and I said, well, it's a little late for starting by seed. But then we were at the store and decided to get some for him. These are actually cantaloupe for our 2 older boys. They are the only ones in the family that like cantaloupe. So I got 2 plants, actually 2 pots, that each pot had 2 to 4 plants in them. And then we got a couple different types of watermelon. One is a, what's this one? The Charleston Gray melon. And then this one over here is the Icebox watermelon. Yeah. So hopefully our season will be long enough to actually produce some watermelon for us. Whew, had to get out of the sun. It's 11, just after 11, and it's 97 degrees already. Yeah, just like 15 minutes ago it was 95, and 20 minutes before that it was 93. So it's getting hot out there, and I think I'm pretty much done with the update. There's probably some other things that I could show you, but I think they're just gonna have to wait for another time because it's getting hot. And I'm gonna go inside and find stuff to do in the cool insides. But before I go, I just wanted to give another update on the chicks. I know I just did an update on them in the last video, but there's more to show. So let me show you those real quick. All right, so this is mama number 1, my broody Buff Orpington. And she is up and about, and she's just showing the baby chicks that she has, how to scratch and eat, all that lovely stuff. So you can see she's got her 5 little chicks out and about with her. Now the updates are, and I wish that was out, but this little mama has a baby as well. And I saw it last night when I came in to check on her. I'm hoping she'll fluff up and come on. The baby might peep its head out because I saw it earlier today. Come on, mama. Come on. Where's your baby, huh? Where's your baby? Can you show me? Can you show me your baby? Get it riled up, get her riled up a little. She might peck at me. Come on, where's your baby? Well, while we're waiting for that one to pop out, let me bring you over here. And we have another baby chick coming out. Oh, there's so many flies in here. Hello, baby. Hello. And I don't know if any of these other ones are going to hatch, but mommy is off of the nest now, so we'll see what happens there. I hope it's not going to be too late for this girl. Call her a girl. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but anyway, we're going to have at least one more chick if this one survives. Hello, baby chick. Hello. That's it. Keep struggling. Keep struggling. That's it. Yeah. Keep coming out. There's the baby. Hello, sweet baby. So that's baby number 6 on the farm. Baby chick number 6. And I don't know if she's had any other. I just happened to see this one yesterday when I came out to check on them. Good job, Mama. Good job. Alright, so this little baby ended up coming out. I did help it a little bit, but I took it out, or I didn't take it out, it got out. I just helped a little. But this mama is so busy with her chicks over here that I decided to give it to this mama here. So she's taken it under her wing, and now you can see her other little fella is out and about. So cute. So anyway, that's it for the updates with the chickens. I did put a fan in here because it was so stagnantly hot, and it's just going to be hotter today. I have also closed the door most way. I'm propping it open just a little to keep some of the airflow, but it sure helps keep the sunlight from just beating into this room and making it super hot. So all the biddies in here and Magnum have a lot to say right now. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I'm gonna go shoot some footage of the pumpkins and the squash for you, and then I'm gonna head inside where it's a little bit cooler. So we will see you next time. Next month I start that Every Bit Counts challenge, so I'll try to make some videos about that. I don't know that it'll be every day, but I'll try to do what I can. So we shall see you then.